Whew, okay, going live with some tea and taking a couple breaths. I've got some feelings this morning, and they feel pretty big. And if you'd like to arrive here with me, we could take some breaths together in through the nose and out of the mouth. So nice, easy breath in and out. Inhale and exhale. So my usual pattern in the mornings is not to do my hair, to have some tea, and I'll spend a little bit of time in general contemplation and just see what comes up. And what came up for me this morning was some of the ways that the Tao Te Ching, which is attributed to Lao Tzu, who was a philosopher in China sometime around the 4th century before the birth of Christ, the way that the concept of leadership and governance and cohabitation is presented in the Tao Te Ching. And then I read this, and I'm going to bring it up because it's a whole thing. So clearly, I'm speaking today within the context of COVID, and an obituary for H.G. Carrillo shows up on my feed. He was Cuban American. He wrote prose, he wrote fiction, he wrote nonfiction, he wrote combining genres, and one of the main themes in his work is the theme of cultural erasure, of erasing people. And of course, the fucking Western colonial patriarchal mindset of conquer and civilize people came up, and I'm feeling some feelings about it because I am part of the privilege of being white, being Western, not in a directional sense, but in a grew with privilege. Oh, coughing. This is why I don't play poker. And I remembered some of the ire and anger I had in college, and particularly around the canon of literature. And it goes back to middle school. We read Robinson Crusoe. Oh my God. And I think that was the first protest I ever staged in an academic context, because that fucking book, Robinson Crusoe, he gets stranded on an island, and his thought is, I shall get me a boy, an indigenous boy. It is literally a story about enslavement. I was so angry, so angry. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. In middle school, I didn't really have much understanding about like what can I do about it. I did manage to get my bachelor's degree. Ended up being in the humanities, and I managed to get it without taking one class in the canon. So I never took a class in Shakespeare, never took a class in like European literature or Western literature. And then graduate school centered the like economic theory, social theories, different kinds of theories, and reading events as text. So reading events that occur within cultures as text, which is also very problematic. I was at Carnegie Mellon. We're reading about the fight of the proletariat, which is like the working class. and people are showing empathy and having like identified experiences with this. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We're at Carnegie Mellon University. At the time, we were like the top 2% of all students in a university, and we're talking about the fight of the working class, the problems of the working class in a building that was built. Some of you will remember this. It's built on a slope because, and I believe it was Carnegie who came up with the idea, if the university failed, they were going to turn it into a factory. But let's talk about the plight of the proletariat. Fast forward. Here we are, living in the time of COVID. And with these new ideas about Karen and is it Chad, which essentially are white people who are unhappy about being inconvenienced. And then it comes up again for me because motherfucker, hello. You know, I was speaking with a friend a bit ago, and I asked him how he was doing, and he said, other than being a Black man in America. And it was like, whoa, yeah. And I felt really uncomfortable in that moment. I mean, I have a cognitive idea. I have no felt experience, none, with the need to follow the rules of, in essence, master of the white man. And so over the years, as people have called me out on my own racism, on the way that I express my privilege, on the way that I'm sometimes appropriating culturally, it's really uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to be seen in that way, especially by people who I respect and care about. But here's the thing, my friends. I'm uncomfortable for a minute, for a two, for a little bit. My friends are likely uncomfortable, period. So I have stopped using, and this is, this language that I'm going to share is highly prevalent in the world, in like the wellness spaces that I'm in. The word, the appropriation of spirit animal, which has a very deeply rooted meaning for Indigenous people. I'm not Indigenous. Thank you, Harry Potter. Patronus, mascot. There are many words I can use that are not taking from another culture, that don't erase somebody else's lived experience. And the second word that I have removed from my vocabulary is tribe. And this is so prevalent in these, like, from an archetypal perspective, skinny white chick yoga. My tribe, my tribe, my tribe. Fuck that. We're white people of privilege. Now, we might have like actual initiation experiences and, you know, live with and share culturally with folks. And for the most part, these are people literally stealing language and appropriating concepts to what? For what? Why? Why can't we call teams? Why can't we call community? Why can't we call groups? Why can't we call whatever? Why do we have to use tribe? Ranting a little bit this morning. Cultural erasure is part of cultural appropriation. And I don't like it. When somebody sees me doing it, I feel uncomfortable. But hey, guess what, friends? I am a white woman of privilege in America. I am inherently racist. I don't want to stay there. I don't operate from there consciously. I'm working daily to kind of like undo that. And when I wake up in the morning, the privilege that I have means I can just sit in the comfort of knowing that if I get pulled over by the police, I don't need to worry about being killed. If I want to take a walk around a neighborhood, I don't need to worry about being shot and murdered. If I or anybody in my family contracts C-19, COVID, we don't need to worry about not having access to care. I mean, fucking A, man. We've got kids in cages. We are committing genocide in this country. And we are part of it. Us. Feeling very ranty this morning. I apologize if you're used to rainbows and puppy dogs. We've got to get this fucker out of office, friends. We have got to. So the cool thing about privilege, and I will leave you with this thought, is that while it can be uncomfortable to be called out or have a spotlight, a shine on me, I'll just speak from my own experience around my own privilege, around some of the language that I use, around some of the ways that I'm expressing colonialism and like hegemony is a fancy academic term you can look up. Thank you, Carnegie Mellon. I also am in a position to do something about it. And this is why I'm political online. I really don't give a flying fuck if I'm going to piss off Karens or upset housewives who have never had to think about the ways that their unconsciousness, how they're behaving might be harming other people. I don't give a fuck. I want to shine a light on it. I mean, I'm not going to go like harm somebody or vandalize property or anything like that. And you bet your fucking face, Betty swears this morning, that I am going to say something about the it, which is essentially colonialism. Yeah, I guess we're not going to get to, I was going to read from the Tao Te Ching about leadership and teaching, but instead let us be aware that we are erasing cultures. We, white people, we, the colonial mindset, we, the Western world. Yeah, maybe we can do something about it. How do I end this? I do, oh, here we go. End broadcast. Be well, live long and prosper. See you later. Bye.